I'm Julie Bartkey with this Senate update. A special session was virtually guaranteed when the governor vowed to veto the bill that funds early childhood through high school education. At issue was the failure of the legislature to include provisions to fund pre-kindergarten. Senate Education Chair Charles Wiger caught up with us to discuss the compromise bill.
The key change is going from $400 million to $525, and everything that we had in the $400 million bill, which included several policy changes, all remains intact. The additional $125 million, half is going for the formula, so we have an increase now to 2 and 2 for each year of the biennium. We're delighted about that, and we also have a lot of targeted investment, particularly for students that are at risk.
The pre-kindergarten provision is noticeably absent, as it was during the regular session as well. Describe the funding levels that are included in this legislation that do target early learners, whether it's school readiness or early childhood scholarships.
Our goal is for students to be ready for kindergarten. All legislators support that goal, and we have nearly 70% of students that are at that level. What we have in the bill is a number of ways to make additional progress on that goal. First and foremost is for readiness programs, where we've had this in place for almost 24 years. We put in over $30 million additional dollars for that program. Additionally, we add a substantial amount of money to scholarships for at-risk students, and for the biennium we have $100 million invested for students that are at risk. They go to high-quality programs. The evidence has been pretty clear that it's going to get them ready for kindergarten. So we have placed a great deal in those two programs. Additionally, we have some targeted funds for the Promised Neighborhood program that's in St. Paul as well as in Minneapolis, for the NAS program, North End Achievement Zone, North Side. We also have 3 programs we're taking to Greater Minnesota on the Promise model, one in St. Cloud, Northfield, and Red Wing. So we're delighted about that, and further, we have added an additional year for English language learners for reimbursement going from 6 to 7 years, all targeted toward helping students be better prepared to meet the ultimate goal of graduation. But a lot has gone into the Ready for K model, readiness, scholarships, additional targeted funds.
Senator, it needs to be asked, early during the regular session, it was a priority of the Senate to fully fund pre-kindergarten. At what point did that change, and when did the priority become adding money to the formula as opposed to funding pre-kindergarten?
You're correct. It was a vision, Senate File 6, just as the governor had embraced the universal pre-K 4. But as we further examine the price tag, and it was coming in at over $400 million, and also the target that we had in the Senate for education, that wasn't even at $400 million, so it wasn't going to work. And so we looked at how could we make progress on that goal of Ready for K at the same time. So the early target that we had wasn't even enough to fund the UPK4, and clearly putting something additional on formula was very important. The testimony that we had throughout the legislative session re-emphasized that. And while we did have support for readiness programs and the whole objective of Ready for K, it was trumped by making sure that there was adequate money in the formula. We think 2 and 2 is going to make a big, significant step.
Finally, Senator, Senate Majority Leader Tom Bach has been saying repeatedly that he thinks this is going to be one of those sessions where everybody walks away grumbling a little bit because nobody really got everything that he or she wants. When it comes to your bill, are you grumbling or are you happy with this?
I'm not grumbling. I'm an optimistic person. I think we made great progress. Could we have done more? Certainly. I would have liked to have seen some additional funds in for the counselors, social workers, some money that we had targeted, vocational education. We had a number of programs that we had included in our early vision of what we wanted, but that'll be another day.